Wait a minute. Did Elon Musk just publicly break the law? Well, not only do many election law experts believe that he did, Musk himself seems to agree he might have because he panicked and hastily deleted a potentially incriminating tweet involving the Wisconsin State Supreme Court election and a payday for people attending a speech of his. But before we unpack all that, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go. All right, friends, Elon Musk is pretty bold on social media, and it makes sense. He's the richest man on earth. He is one of, if not the most powerful men on earth, given his extraordinary wealth and his influence not only over the Republican Party, but Donald Trump, the sitting president. So given when you combine all that power and privilege and, a lack of wisdom, a recklessness, one might say, it makes sense that somebody that stupid and that privileged and that powerful would say things and not exercise due diligence. Well, here's what happened. As Fact Post points out, Elon Musk has published an edited version of a deleted tweet sent at 1 a.m. offering a $1 million bribe to voters in the Wisconsin State Supreme Court race. So this is the original tweet. On Sunday night, I will give a talk in Wisconsin. Entrance is limited to those who have voted in the Supreme Court election. I will also personally hand over 2 checks for $1 million each in appreciation for you taking the time to vote. This is super important. Well, he drops that at 1 a.m., deletes it, we'll get into why, and then he updates a new version. He says, on Sunday night, I will give a talk in Wisconsin. To clarify a previous post, entrance is limited to those who have signed the petition in opposition to activist judges. I will also hand over checks for $1 million to 2 people to be spokesmen for the condition. So to clarify, when I said that the entrance is limited to those who voted in the Supreme Court election, what I really meant was not vote, sign a petition about activist judges. Something totally different, right? That's what I mean. But to clarify, I'm not saying something new. This is what I really meant when I said this one thing. What I really meant was something totally substantively different. Okay, Elon. As the Democrats point out, Elon Musk is trying to buy the Wisconsin Supreme Court election. He admitted it, and now he's trying to hide it. As Ben Wickler, leader of the chair of the Wisconsin Democratic Party, he said it's illegal for Elon Musk to cut $1 million paychecks for voters who support Brad Schimmel, a Republican candidate for the state Supreme Court. Quote, Elon Musk has committed a blatant felony by offering money for votes in order to help Brad Schimmel, Wickler said in a statement on Friday. Quote, Musk's illegal election bribery scheme to put Brad Schimmel on the Supreme Court is a chainsaw attack on democracy and the rule of law in Wisconsin and in our nation. Again, it gets into all of this. Wickler alleges Musk's first statement violates the law and has encouraged law enforcement to hold the Tesla CEO accountable for attempts to sway the public vote. Quote, Elon Musk should be brought to justice for his illegal attempt to buy votes for Brad Schimmel, and Brad Schimmel should immediately condemn Musk's crimes and disavow his continued involvement in his campaign. If Schimmel does not immediately call on Musk to end his criminal activity, we can only assume that he is complicit. Law enforcement must act now before this goes any further. Musk's crime to assist Brad Schimmel has already been committed, and if Elon Musk sets foot in Wisconsin, he should be placed in handcuffs and held accountable, just like any other criminal. Damn, Ben Wickler, damn! So Politico goes into more detail. Musk butts up against Wisconsin state law with now deleted $1 million check giveaway. Musk will visit Wisconsin on Sunday ahead of the state's high-profile Supreme Court election. He initially announced the plan in a post shortly after midnight on Friday, promising a $1 million giveaway to 2 attendees who had voted. That post was deleted after legal experts raised concerns that it would violate state law. Musk clarified on Friday afternoon that the giveaways would be limited to people who signed his super PAC's petition, which is substantively different than voting, dumbass. The visit marks an escalation of Musk's campaigning in Wisconsin, where the Republican-backed Brad Schimmel faces Democratic-backed Susan Crawford in an election that will determine control of the state's highest court. Musk's political organization, America PAC, has spent more than $12 million on the race, according to campaign financial disclosures, and he personally gave $3 million to the Wisconsin Republican Party. In a Friday afternoon post, Musk said the event would be held Sunday night and would be reserved for those who had signed a petition circulated by America PAC. He will hand out 2 $1 million checks at the event, he said. He'd previously posted, then deleted about the event and the checks, but the earlier post said it would be limited to those who have voted in the Supreme Court election. Legal experts immediately raised concerns that the offering Sunday that offering the Sunday giveaway for only those who have already voted could violate Wisconsin's election bribery law, which makes it a crime to offer, quote, anything of value to, quote, induce potential voters to vote or not vote in an election. Early voting is underway in Wisconsin and runs through Sunday. Quote, I'm actually surprised that Musk is being so explicit about tying eligibility for this $1 million payout to having voted in the election, said Brendan Fisher, a campaign finance lawyer and deputy executive director of the watchdog organization Documented, about Musk's earlier post. Quote, his tweet makes it very clear that you can only enter this event and you can only be eligible for the $1 million payout if you voted. And it's hard to read that as anything other than providing a thing of value to induce a person to vote or to reward them for having voted. The giveaway tactic is not new for Musk. In the lead up to the 2024 election, America PAC made signees of a petition supporting the First Amendment eligible for a $1 million giveaway. The plan faced legal challenges, but judges ruled in Musk's favor. The group has replicated a similar strategy in Wisconsin, promising voters $100 to sign a petition, quote, in opposition to activist judges, and it announced on Wednesday that it cut a $1 million check for a Green Bay resident who signed on. Quote, Elon, thank you, recipient Scott Ainsworth said in a video posted by America PAC, where he urged MAGA voters to go to the polls and support Schimmel. Musk is quickly becoming an enormous player in Republican politics. He launched America PAC in the spring of 2024, pouring hundreds of millions of dollars of his own money into the group, primarily to finance canvassing operations supporting Donald Trump's election campaign. He promised the group would stay active in the coming years, with the Wisconsin Supreme Court race becoming its first major investment since Trump's victory. The Wisconsin election is already the most expensive judicial race in U.S. history, surpassing the 2023 Wisconsin Supreme Court race, where the Democratic-aligned candidate ultimately prevailed. Liberals currently hold a majority on the state's highest court, which has say over everything from abortion rights to the state's legislative matters. Democrats have spent big in Wisconsin's race, too. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker of the Hyatt Hotel family gave $1.5 million to back Crawford, and longtime megadonor George Soros pitched in $2 million. But no single figure has invested as much as Musk. Democrats in Wisconsin have sought to turn the race into a referendum on him and his outsized political influence. A plane over Milwaukee on Thursday carried a banner reading, "Go home, Elon, vote Susan." So, again, just to really drive this home, Elon Musk originally says entrance is limited to those who have voted in the Supreme Court election, not those who signed his petition or thinking about signing his petition, not even voted on his petition, right? Talking totally different verbiage, substantively different. This was not a Freudian slip. He was trying to bribe people to vote, period, which seems like a prima facie violation of Wisconsin election law. And then he hastily deleted it after panicking that he could face potential legal challenges, which could further undermine the Republican-backed candidate, Brad Schimmel, who is awful, as we've discussed in previous videos. And so then he says, well, sorry, to clarify, when I said A, what I really meant was B, even though A and B mean totally different things. Entrance is limited to those who signed the petition in opposition to activist judges. That was a pretty bold statement by Ben Wickler calling for his arrest. And I like that he's not mincing words on this whatsoever. And again, consider this. Elon Musk had to have known he screwed up because this guy runs his mouth all the time, at least on social media with his fingers, right? He talks mad shit all the time. And he very rarely backs down, even when he's wrong, even when he's objectively wrong, right? He loves to pick fights and stir shit and troll people. And he never I shouldn't say. He very rarely admits when he's wrong. And then usually when he does something wrong, he just doubles down on the behavior a day or two later. So for him to delete a tweet in fear tells you everything you need to know. The last thing I'll say, since we're talking about Wisconsin, is it is the single most important election since the presidential election, and you've probably never heard of it, but you should hear about it. So you have the Trump-aligned Brad Schimmel, who's an activist judge who has been quoted as he's on his knees to get Republican support, that he's Trump's support system. That's how Elon Musk is literally branding him in the advertisements. He's a MAGA judge. Susan Crawford, on the other hand, not only has she previously defended reproductive rights and voting rights and things of that nature, here's what's interesting. Unlike Brad Schimmel, she's actually pointed out in a debate with Schimmel where she is objective enough to have ruled against her own supporters, to have ruled in ways that would piss off her liberal, progressive, Democratic voters. She's objective enough. Brad Schimmel couldn't answer that question. Brad Schimmel doesn't vote in ways or doesn't rule in ways that pisses off his supporters. He will be a 100% Trump sycophantic lawyer, Trump sycophant judge, I should say, not a lawyer. This is where we are. It's an extremely important election, and it's a great opportunity to repudiate and humiliate Elon Musk and, by extension, Donald Trump. And for that reason alone, I would argue if you're an eligible voter in Wisconsin, you should vote, and we know who you should vote for. In the meantime, let me know what you think in the comments.